Tonight I'd like to give a brief presentation on the Siemens property history contained in 4 slides. Basically, this property came to the attention of the Downingtown Area School District in 2006 when Siemens marketed the property for sale. At the time, Downingtown was experiencing tremendous growth, no surprise to anyone here, and the district had anticipated using that property for school purposes and perhaps even a third secondary school campus, which would contain a high school, third high school, and a third middle school. Unfortunately, at that time, the powers that be would not authorize the appropriate zoning or zoning approvals for the school district to construct a campus for educational purposes. As luck would have it, the district continued to grow, and I guess I should scroll through these. The district continued to grow, and the population centers became the south and central portions of the school district. So in 2014, the school district thought it made sense to sell the property, and I don't use this word in that screen, but Hankin expressed interest in that property for the purposes of constructing what I call a Little Eagle View. So it would build on the other side of the turnpike a mixed-use community, a mixed-use development, which would have residential, business, commercial, and retail establishments, very similar to the uses currently put to the Big Eagle View. Unfortunately, Hankin was unable to obtain the necessary zoning changes to construct those improvements because it was not zoned for residential. And so the township at the time declined to allow a zoning change for that purpose. Now, Hankin stuck with it, but by 2001, it became evident that it was not going to have any success with its vision of a Little Eagle View, and as was its right under the agreement, it terminated the agreement. The district continued to market the property, and in 2022, the school district approved by resolution, public resolution, an agreement of sale with Audubon in the amount of $96 million and change. And I'll just note for the board that the purchase price of the property was $22 million, which was a lot then, and $96 million is a lot now. So closing is anticipated to occur on or before December of 2024. The advantage to this transaction is that the property is actually zoned for the use to which the purchaser seeks to put it. Now, the purchaser needs to get approvals from the various boards and commissions of Uwchlan Township, as well as some other public bodies, both local and state. But we're hopeful that they'll be moving ahead with that procedure before Uwchlan Township. I want to point out basically 4 important concepts for this board, and it's going to sound like a lawyer speaking because this is the type of advice lawyers give clients. So if we take a look at the first little page there, we have a legally binding agreement of sale. This board approved it in public. It was advertised. It was brought before a judge of the Court of Common Pleas of Chester County. The agreement of sale was approved, and it is now binding on the school district. The school district has a contractual obligation to respect the rights of the buyer and to allow the buyer to go through the approval process with Uwchlan Township without any interference from the school district. Basically, you make an agreement and you comply with it, and you don't get in the way of the other party trying to discharge its own obligations under that agreement. The third page here, this now is really a procedure for the applicant, Audubon, and the township, Uwchlan Township. The authority to approve or disapprove land development plans or conditional uses, which are two types of municipal approvals that applicants like to get, rests solely with the Board of Supervisors of Uwchlan Township under their governing comprehensive plan, land development ordinance, zoning ordinance, and other regulations that they have. I think it's important for this board to know, as I'm indicating in the last page, that this is not the time for this board to entertain other options. You have made a commitment to a willing buyer, and as well intentioned as they may be, any deviation from your obligations under the agreement, in my view, would potentially expose the school district to some peril. So I'm advising against that. With that said, I'm happy to answer any questions the board might have on any particulars I didn't include in this presentation. I was around for the 2006 purchase, so I have some historical institutional recollection of the process.
The ideal